All right. It hit me as fans of this channel. I kept making videos for years that kind of were like this thing of, unless you guys figure this out, this is inevitably going to be quite the problem for you come elections. You know, sort of telling Democrats ahead of time with really the idea of, if these people want to be represented, well, how don't you understand that this is a real problem? This is one of their interests. You represent these. The leadership represents these people. Or do you have a leader representing this interest or this issue that will inevitably plague you? So I started to think through some things now, and I'm like, oh yeah, now I have the whole awesome thing of, do you know why you lost? And I'm seeing people with the whole TikTok reactions, was it crash out is what now everyone calls it. Then I'm like, okay, you know, the way that people are reflecting on this, I was like, okay, let's walk through it. Because this isn't rocket science. It's just that at some point you have to face, oh, you guys figured that one out. Okay, so one of the plots over the last decade was very, very fat women are actually healthy, and muscular men who of athletic build, especially in their primary years, where that, you know, in their 20s, that's very important. If you maintain high muscle mass into your 30s, you end up having very, very, very good health outcomes in the long run. It shows a tendency. It shows a trend in the person's behavior. And so, losing muscle mass for men, whether gaining adiposity or not, is a sign of shortening lifespan or short lifespan. So then this idea that with women having tremendous amounts of adiposity, that they're still quote unquote healthy, and you know, being, you know, it just there's a ratio. We already knew them. This was already this isn't settled science yet. For the most part, it's settled science. There's a general area that we know, like, no. Over this level of adiposity, you know, this ratio of lean muscle mass to adipose tissue, fat tissue, ... So, you know, you start risking cancer, you start risking all these various problems. And so what everything gets horrible. What you have to do is, why did the Democrats lose? Because, okay, well, they did this, where they kept talking about how people who were in bad health were in good health. People who are obviously in good health and maximizing their health were actually, in fact, not just, they were toxic, that there's something bad about men lifting weights. And then we came to find out, well, yes, of course, because it improves the way your cognitive functionality it works, that you start becoming more right-wing when you lift weights. It's not just the testosterone. You use your brain better when you're training. And testosterone just it clears you. It kind of clears your mind. You don't put emotional states don't sway your thinking as easily. You could shrug off emotions that are clouding your thinking. That's the thing with testosterone. Keeping stress away and causing one-pointedness of mind, as they say in Zen, which is the basis of the Shaolin tradition of martial arts. So the thing that I started to think through with this is one of the first places that you lost, because this is how the world of MGTOW science people started, because then they started to look at all these studies and have huge streams where they would go through the minutia of all these studies from these feminist science people saying that fat women are healthy and muscular young men are super dangerous for the universe, and who knows what will happen if men keep lifting weights. They lift weights and then they sexually assault everything in sight. But so that was one of the first places that you guys started to lose. That started easily a decade ago, and it has never stopped. You all still keep doing this. So that's one specifically for the journalists, that they really lost it all for you guys. They cost you everything. All right, later.